When I started my career as a sports photojournalist, I learned pretty quickly that it's the faces, the emotions, and the reactions that matter the most, that are the most memorable, not the game action. So you could be a basketball player who is concentrating to get the ball down court, and you wag your tongue like Michael Jordan the entire way down, which is a pretty impressive feat in itself. Imagine you're an NBA player who has an argument with the referee, gets thrown out of the game, and the referee refuses to even pay attention to you or listen to you. Or you could be an athlete like Bill Rogers at the peak of his powers, about to win the Boston Marathon, gritting his teeth as he crosses the finish line, and then deciding that this is the photo that he wants on the cover of his autobiography. You never know where you're going to get a great photo. It could be at a Little League game, and you're kind of watching, and suddenly the pitcher jumps in the air to celebrate, and in the background, framed perfectly on either side of him, are teammates with their arms in the air, V for victory. And then one of these players on the side ends up playing in the major leagues. Not every reaction is a positive one. You may not like a call that the referee made, so you jump up off the bench and you scowl at the referee and the scoreboard the entire time the other team is taking their free throws. When you're a team that's about to surprisingly upset a much more powerful and favored team, everybody gets animated. Volleyball players are probably the most emotional athletes I have ever seen. And so when a player makes a point to win the match, the entire team rushes to celebrate that moment. Now, hockey players, it's very difficult to get their emotions in their faces. But if you play for Yale and you beat Harvard, you throw off the helmets and you rush and celebrate with one another, and then you have some great photos. A winner-loser photo is a terrific photo if you can get that both in the same image. In this case, the boxers had no idea who was going to win the match, and when the decision was announced, they were both surprised, but in opposite ways. If you're a high school player who misses the game-tying free throw with the clock down at 0, it's a pretty tough moment when the other team is celebrating all around you. And for the photographer, it's a pretty tough moment to have to put that in the paper. I felt pretty guilty. Winning a championship can spur all kinds of celebration. So when this team won the Massachusetts High School Softball Championship, they broke out bottles of champagne and started spraying it around. But I didn't see anybody drinking it. When a baseball team wins its league championship, they celebrate like crazy. They cheer, they hug, and then this team jumped and started a pig pile, and they kept getting higher. And the bigger the pig pile got, the higher these players had to jump. Imagine being on the bottom. Those of you who are baseball fans might remember Bucky Dent's infamous home run to beat the Red Sox in the 1978 playoff game. I, as a Red Sox fan, unfortunately have this particularly great photo of one of the best photos taken of this happy moment in Yankee history. The flip side was Carl Yastrzemski, who made for the Red Sox, who made the very last out, and looked as sad as any athlete I've ever seen. And he claimed that this was the most disappointing moment of his entire career. It's great when fans can celebrate along with the spectators, and sometimes the fans are even happier. Fans can celebrate along with the athletes, and sometimes the fans are even happier than the players. In this case, celebrating a game-saving interception as the clock was winding down. And it's great when spectators can make an athletic feat look better because they're very impressed, or in this particular case, not particularly impressed. It's also great when you can get action and a reaction in the same photo. This player decided he wanted to block the kick with his groin, and he learned pretty quickly it wasn't a great idea. Sometimes you're at an event and you are really glad you're not the one participating. In this case, this powerlifter strained and strained, had these pain looks, and it looks like his face is going to burst. There's probably nothing more difficult than trying to get a picture of your own kid playing softball when she's telling you to look away and shooing you as much as possible. But no matter how often you're told to look away, when you don't, you're really glad you didn't. And sometimes it's not about the match or the game or the event. Sometimes it's about the individual or the personality. This athlete cheered and was ecstatic and exuberant about everything. She looks like she just won the Super Bowl. This is the pregame introduction.